Week 6, Translation and the Legal Documents. In English, interpreting and translating have two different meanings. Interpreting refers to conveying meaning from one language to another in oral form, while translating speaks to doing the same in written form. But often the interpreter is called on to do both. This week we will explore translation in both written and oral forms. Remember to keep a journal and write something related to translation. Include this in the discussion forum for class participation. Search the Bible for something related to this week's topic and write a brief description. Find a YouTube related to translation. After watching it, write a review and an evaluation. This week's project is to translate from English into your interpreting language a brief legal document. It can be the one from week 5, and then post it for discussion. You should be reading a book on legal interpreting or a chapter in Fundamentals of Interpretation. This assignment will be due at the end of the course. Continue to add words to the question board. Finally, remember by the end of the course you will be expected to have developed a lexicon or glossary where you list the words and corresponding words in your chosen language. Adding to it weekly will help make this final presentation easier. Advanced written translation training focusing on judiciary documents will involve lexicographical training in judiciary terminology and intensive practice in translating the following type of judiciary documents: birth certificates, degrees and diplomas, plea agreements, and wills, etc. Most translation on these kinds of documents can be done at the translator's leisure with a collection of source material at their disposal. This is not the case in the courtroom. The interpreter will, from time to time, be called on to translate any of the above-mentioned documents, as well as many others. At that time, the interpreter will probably not have access to anything except their own experience and background. That is why it's imperative that the interpreter avail themselves of the opportunity to read through as many of these type of documents as possible. You might even want to take notes on some of the more common documents used in court setting, so that when faced with these documents, translating them will be relatively easy. As mentioned before, much of what goes on in the court setting is formulaic, and therefore the same documents will turn up from time to time. Of course, from time to time, the interpreter will be called on to translate special documents. These might include letters, notes, or other documents which will be brought before the court for one purpose or another. Preparation for these will not be able to be done beforehand, but a few tips may help when facing these or any documents. First, ask the court for a moment to read through the document. Read it all the way through from beginning to end before beginning the translation. The interpreter does not need to feel the pressure of having to do it under a time limit, but it's important to do it quickly. After reading the document, begin the translation, but don't try to translate the words verbatim. Mentally rewrite the document into the target language so that it makes sense, because that's what you really wanting to happen. In this particular case, the words are not as important as the meaning. Therefore, make sure that what is being translated is intelligible to those hearing it. Finally, understand that you will make mistakes. Don't let them haunt you. Let them make you a better interpreter by looking them up, learning from them, and doing better next time.